suppose like any other local authority, the challenges are primarily around the savings that we need to make over the next 3 years, especially. For Norfolk, that's actually £189 million. So as an organisation, we're looking for ways to make the way we work more efficient and to also sort of reduce the burden on our social care staff when they're out in the field. Alongside that, we are also dealing with the potential, but the challenges of working with our partners in the community, integrating between health and social care, and that poses challenges for us as systems managers about how we can best do that and how that can best be achieved. In Norfolk, we piloted personal budgets in 2008, initially with our mental health service users, and we went live with that for all of our service users in February 2011. So that's been running as business as usual for 2 years, and we try to do that in as pure way as possible to support personalisation, to give people independence, to make sure that they have options and are thinking creatively about the way they can be supported in the community. This year we'll be going live with personal budgets for carers as well, and we'll be using OLM's RAS tool to also perform those calculations on personal budgets for carers. At Norfolk, we've needed a product which will help social workers calculate the RAS quickly and effectively. Prior to 2013, social workers were doing an assessment on an individual and using a personal budget questionnaire. Once they'd completed that, they would send a request to a financial team within Care First to calculate that personal budget. That could take up to sort of 1 to 2 working days to get that indicative budget back. What the RAS product does is to enable the social worker to input that immediately into Care First and get a response back. So it's really saved us an incredible amount of time, and social workers see it very positively. It's being used by all of our community services practitioners, about 600 practitioners in total, so social workers, occupational therapists and assistant practitioners. I think in Norfolk we do roughly about 18,000 of these calculations every year. So if you can imagine how much time that's actually saved us, let alone actually allowing us to sort of see those calculations and have them sort of within the Care First system itself as part of the care management process. So our practitioner would go and visit the person in their home. As part of their assessment, they're going through our personal budget questionnaire, and when they've got those, they've identified levels of need, and when they've got that, they would then bring that back to their office, put that into Care First. Staff have been absolutely delighted. Anecdotally, people have said to us that because it takes just a couple of seconds to calculate, they've actually been counting down in their office, waiting to see the result come through. It has saved us, saved us a whole sort of full-time post and allowed us to deploy that sort of finance resource elsewhere. We estimate it's probably saved about sort of 600 to 900 hours, and practitioners have responded to it really favourably. I think it's the flexibility of it. I think it is knowing that if we do need to change it, we are sort of trained up and skilled to do that now in our own teams. So it does allow us to think sort of more long term about the product. We won't have to go back to OLM for consultancy. We know that we can use it as it is. We know how to manage it. We know how to monitor it. But we also know that we can go to OLM if we do have any technical issues. We have a really positive working relationship with OLM. I've been managing the team for about 3 years, and since then we've had sort of good constant contact with them, both through our management board and on a sort of daily, weekly level, depending on need. I found OLM to be actually really responsive to us in times of sort of pressure and business need. They're also incredibly supportive of us. When we were first developing the RAS product, we've had a lot of discussion, a lot of debate about how the product should be developed and what was best for Norfolk, and they were always really listen to us and work with us to make it right. I think OLM really understood that we have a RAS which we feel very confident in, that it was quite complex and that we needed something which we could set up ourselves and then sort of develop into the future. So they've been very positive with us about that. They've understood it and help us to sort of pilot that, really quite quickly, and were then on hand to help us when we went live, just to make sure everything was working well.
That was, oh, hang on a second, because they're going to have these. Just to think about.